Howdy, diddly, dandy there, Chamarinos. Right, okay. I'm going to be doing the lore breakdown of weekend mission 15. Now, this is the last mission that's actually in the files currently, but we are due another update next week called Origins. So that's interesting. Anyway, let's go and talk to Iteration Hesperus. So I've already done this on Creative, as you know, I do that on a Friday. So if you do want to see me running the full mission, check out that. But yeah, this is now Monday. Yeah, it will be Monday when I put this video up anyway. Hello there, Hesperus. Oh, what you got there in your hand? That's a lovely looking little ship that you've got. Where did you see that? Oh, yeah, never mind. There's a mission to do. Right, okay, yeah, cool. Let's interact. Hello there, Hesperus. Cool. The others will be back soon, kindred. We do not have much time. Right, okay, so when he says the others will be back soon, Gemini's missing, Mercury's missing, and get this, Hesperus has gone frickin' missing as well, which is unusual, to say the least. He's never left the Nexus before. I don't know why Hesperus went. I mean, Hesperus was worried that his friend had gone missing, which was this guy. Now he's back. So they must have crossed in the frickin' wind. Who knows? But what is interesting is he says they will be back soon. So he obviously knows something that we don't know. He knows that they've only gone on a short mission. So I don't think he's actually worried about them because he knows they're going to be back soon. I don't think they're missing. So I don't think this is going to be a continuation on. I think we might just see them reappear in the next week or so. But I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what good old Owlface is saying. Because part of me wishes that they don't come back and we have to go on missions to actually recover them. Because the whole touching of knowledge stones, going through a portal, doing a fetch quest is kind of done now, you know? If that's been a couple of seasons. Yeah, I know, look at him shaking his head all forlorn. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's listen to him. Let's see what else he's got to say. He also says we don't have much time, which sort of signifies that they might reappear probably next Wednesday, you know, who knows. Anyway, let's listen to him. Here we go. Cool. Ariadne tells us the universe is burning with corruption, that only we travellers can fight it. Well, that's kind of correct in a roundabout way. I mean, you know, I know that you don't really like the Ariadne that we have in the station right now, in the Nexus right now, Mr. Owlface, but Ariadne tells us the universe is burning with corruption. So the whole 16-16, 15-15, which we've seen the 15-15 during this this weekend lore, is kind of interesting, and it's burning with corruption. That's the first time I've seen the word burning, but there we go. That's what it is. That only we travellers can fight it. Well, that's been the stance since day dot. So let's press on past this bit. There we go. But then there's travellers and there's also anomalies. So we are like the anomaly. Whenever you start off on a new adventure, you're not marked as a traveller. If you go to an appearance modifier, you see you're marked as an anomaly. And so are these guys technically. But the visages, they're anomaly visages that even these guys are wearing. So I don't know whether that statement is correct. Yes, we look like travellers, but are we actually travellers or are we something else? Is my burning question. Anyway, let's press on. But these missions, these lies, my kindred, we have been deceived. Well, a lot of people forget that we've had this 15 set of missions, but prior to these 15, we had a whole 30 of missions previously where we had to go touch knowledge stones and jump through a portal and do a fetch quest. So this is way before all the suspicion was pointed at Ariadne. So my suspicion is still aimed and centered at Polo and Nada, mainly because it's at Nada's intergalactic loom that finds these addresses, and when you go to the portal it says, you know, let's go to the world that Polo and Nada have laid in for us. But then in this lore, in this season, we also got the reference to Null. So there could be a few different people that we're being deceived by. And I don't necessarily know whether the traitor in the Nexus is the same person that's deceiving us. It could be different people. It could be. I mean, the traitor in the Nexus is just somebody that's doing something this season. But I'm wondering whether he's alluding to a bigger, grander picture by this statement. Could be wrong, but let's press on. I thought my scans must be wrong. I thought I dreamt the whispers I heard in my mind. Well, we've heard these whispers as well. They came from our exosuit. Now, the voice inside our exosuit, the AI, is called Talamon, and was placed there, I believe, at iteration when we first spawned in by the Atlas, and it's to help us guide us to do the Atlas path and bidding, and and try not to get baked alive in the process, I guess. It's some sort of security protocol. And that's been calling out to the void and trying to barter with it to save us from oblivion. So, are the whispers good, or are the whispers bad? I don't know. I mean, it's there for our own security. It's there to guide us and to help us. And if you're saying that the whispers are incorrect, and Talamon's incorrect, then is there a conflict between Talamon and the Atlas? I mean, who knows? With all the corruption going on, it could be that the AI itself is corrupted. Anyway, let's go ahead. Hesperus shakes, tormented. Okay, so this is an action that he's done. It's not something he's saying, because you've got a different sort of message box there. Anyway, there we go. Ariadne crashed their ship some weeks ago. They never returned. The entity who now leads us is an impostor. Okay, so right at the very start of this season, Ariadne's ship crashed. We went to the ship, we found some sort of log, and once we actually got Ariadne back, it said that, well, Ariadne said that they had been on a dark freighter in the void, but that's all they remembered. So yeah, we know that there is sentient life in the void if they can fly big frickin' freighters, unless that freighter was a derelict one. Who knows? But yeah, it's a bit of a worry. Also in the Traveller's Lore they mentioned the dark freighter as well. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, they never returned. Now at this point I don't know whether this is speculation or whether this is stuff that he's managed to research and find out for sure. But yeah, the entity who now leads us is an impostor. Now, previous week, we did learn that this impostor, this version of Ariadne, has killed a fellow traveller. Some people thought it may have been Hesperus, but yeah, looking at the app, we knew that Hesperus was going to be here this week. But yeah, it didn't look good for old Owlface last week. If you read the lore, letter by letter, it almost felt like good old Hesperus was a goner. But there we go. You can never really take at face value what it's saying in black and white here. You have to read between the lines slightly, which is what I'm trying to do in this last episode of this weekend mission lore that's in the game files currently. So yeah, hopefully we're going to get a new update, and along with it a whole load of new weekend missions and lore, and hopefully it's just going to continue on from where we leave off here. But here we go. Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do about this imposter, and the fact that you know she's an imposter and she's standing over on the other gantry is a little bit odd. Why you haven't gone and done something about it yourself, you lazy owl-faced guy. Right, okay, here we go. Find the knowledge stones, set your path to the portal, and see the truth for yourself. I guess you're being a bit sneaky. Maybe you want to find where the real Ariadne is. Yeah, before we do something about this doppelganger. Okay, well, fair enough, Owlface. I will do your bidding. So there we go, chumps. That's my breakdown so far of what good old Owlface has got to say, and trying to make sense of it. You know, get off my face, you freaking icon. There we are. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll see you guys down at the actual planet, and we will look at the disturbance site and see what lore we get there. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Cheerio, bye for now. Howdy do. Right, well, I'm at the mission planet, and what a freaking awesome planet this is. Oh, look at that, with the ship just crossing over there with the rings. This is the stuff of sci-fi. Heck yes it is. This is awesome. Righto, so here we go. Visitation of a Rufi Ossis. I don't think that means anything, but let's interact with this monolith. The structure sings with exotic energies. It sees me. It knows my mind. And you can see there that it's got like a different sort of message bubble. I'm not being talked to. This is like a feeling sort of thing. So yeah, we have had this whole exotic energies happen at other sites during these weekend missions. So it's not the first time I've seen exotic energies, not like that burning with corruption statement we had earlier. It sees me. It knows my mind. So we've had statements like this before as well, but normally it's driven towards the Atlas. So I'm wondering whether some of this sort of void encounterment has got something to do with the Atlas, but I can't be sure. I mean, we have had before the Atlas knows hatred and loneliness and all that sort of stuff. So it has mentioned the Atlas during this lore, which is interesting. The song I hear, names, distant, faded. Okay, so again we have been given quite a lot of names, and it's in a song. In the song I hear names, distant and faded. So some of the names that we've had this season has been, we've had Narcissus, and in Greek mythology he likes his own reflection. We've had Astera, the goddess of the stars in Greek mythology. We've had Lazarus, which is a biblical name, and Hildebrand, which is a name from ancient folklore. So there's not just Greek mythology now. Lazarus is biblical, and also, like I said, ancient folklore. I hear the number at the end of all things. Now, during this weekend lore, we have had 1616 pop up, but we've also had 15, 15, 15. So it's almost like the countdown shifted a place. So the number at the end of all things, it might not be 1616. Because we've seen 15, 15, if you follow that sequence, 14, 14, 13, 13, you're going to reach 1 or 0. So what is the number at the end of all things? But here we go. Let's press on. I see its whispers. I see its whisper. Okay, now this is interesting. You can't really see sound unless, there's some weird way of seeing it on some sort of oscilloscope or something like that. I see its whisper. So now the whisper may have came from somewhere. And I'm thinking it comes from the AI, comes from Telemon, or it comes from the Atlas itself, within inside of Telemon, like a subroutine. So maybe it's the Atlas that I see. It's when it says, I see its whisper. But I'm guessing, you've got to read between the frickin' lines. I see a nameless form, Banished Ariadne. Okay, now this is a little bit unusual in reading this. Okay, so it mentions Banished Ariadne at the end here. So the banished version of Ariadne is the good Ariadne, I would like to think. The Ariadne that's somehow been cloned up in the Nexus is a different one. So I see a nameless form of Banished Ariadne. So yeah, it's a little unusual that they then call it a nameless form. So has she been wiped? Has she been blanked? Has she been reset? I don't know. This is pretty weird. Or is this another clone that it's talking about? Are we seeing a whole load of clones of the Ariadne that we once knew and loved? So who knows? Let's press on. And I see a duplicate arising from the crash. Okay, so the Banished Ariadne is the one we know and love, and then we see a duplicate, a clone of that Ariadne, arising from the crash. So it's a little unusual, returning to claim its shape. So taking the place of the Banished Ariadne. So yeah, we've definitely got a clone that's taken the place of our beloved Ariadne, wherever she is. But to be honest, I didn't really like her in the first place. She's not the nicest of all of them, is she? And also looks-wise, with the whole visage. She's alien-looking, but she hasn't got like a mouth or anything like that. She hasn't really got personality to her like the others. Or that's my own personal opinion, But here we go, let's move on. If this vision is to be believed, then Hesperus is right. Ariadne is an impostor. Okay, so what's interesting here is it says, if this vision is to be believed. Cool, then Hesperus is right. So there is a chance that all this stuff that we've seen so far may not be correct. I mean, even Hesperus himself says that we're being lied to right now. And we've had in this lore that, we might become betrayed, or we may become the betrayer. And it could be because we're being fed false information, even by Hesperus' own words. These things are being hijacked. So can we really trust them? It could be that we're given false images to believe that Ariadne is an imposter and Ariadne is to blame for everything, but it could be that there's a puppet master behind all of this. And I'm still thinking a null. I mean, he's popped up too many times to go without sort of being, you can't really ignore the fact that we've seen null quite a lot of times. So this is unusual. It makes you sort of contradict everything you believe, or it did me, anyhow. Let's press on. This place wishes to help me. If I can just provide it with resources. Well, I have the Albion Pearls. I had them sitting in one of my bases in one of my farms. So there we go. Have that. The exotic energy dissipates, but the song lingers. So the song was where we could hear all those faint names of yesteryear, And I'm wondering whether they're all the names that we've heard during this mission lore, which makes me wonder, are we going to get new NPCs? Or does it mean that the entrance to the void is now slightly ajar? We've been doing this for so long now. Is it that some of the actual corruption is staying behind in our realm? Are the gates slowly opening? You know, sound travels fairly quick and it tends to linger. So, yeah, you know, after a plane passes, the sound is still there for some time afterwards. Are we getting some sort of echo from the void? This is worrying to me, chums. Worrying, but at the same time interesting, because it might mean we've got an actual other place to go visit. And with the new update coming soon, and that sort of like bit of artwork that Sean has given us, very interesting, chums. So yeah, if I can, I'll put the artwork on the screen right now. But yeah, very interesting, because the actual right-hand side of that image, if it's still on the screen, hopefully it is sort of, it looks very void-like. You can see sort of structures that almost look like what we've got for our living ship. You know, the modules, the things that we shoot in space to get new modules and organs. It looks like there's a planet with those sort of structures on it, which is pretty damn freaking interesting. I'm wondering if the void is going to become a place that we can go to. That'd be so freaking ace. I hope that speculation is correct. But here, let's press on. What has become of Ariadne? Who is the impostor standing in their place? Well, I'm wondering whether she's on board this dark freighter in the void, and I'm wondering whether next season we might have to go and actually rescue Ariadne. I was thinking we might have to go rescue the other 3 NPCs that have gone missing, but as per the breakdown of the lore that I did earlier, I think they're going to be returning quite quickly, because Hesperus was quite adamant that they are going to be returning soon, and I don't think they're going to need any help to do that. Okay, so here we go, let's press on. Sweet. Is that it? That's everything done. Mission is freaking complete. That means my lore breakdown for this season is freaking done. And I know I spent a little bit longer this episode, but that was because I was trying to give a bit of a recap on all the other 15 missions that came prior to give you a nice sweet sort of bow on this sort of season's lore, if you will. But there you go, people. I'm hoping that you've got the same sort of conclusion, but if not, if you feel I've missed something, please put it in the comments. And yeah, there's a chance it might get pinned and it might start a debate, which is always good fun. So yeah, you guys out there, stay golden, and I'll see you again soon. Take care for now. Goodbye all. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Okay, I want to say a massive great big thank you for watching this video and my channel, hitting a like and a subscribe or adding a comment. It all helps, so thanking you. And thank you to all of my Patreon backers. Yeah, there's a tier there over on Patreon for pretty much everyone. Be sure to go check out my Patreon. All the links are in the video description. And yes, and thank you to all of my YouTube members. Thanking you. All those on screen right now are entitled to a Christmas box, which includes like 3D printed items and all sorts of other gnarly stuff. So thank you, YouTube backers. If you'd rather get something in your little palms, yeah, you can grab some merch. I have lots of merch, including mugs and t-shirts. I also do 3D printed Atlas cards on my eBay store, which you can find a link in my video description and a link there to my website where there's loads of gnarly stuff. Or you can just stay with Captain Steve a little bit longer. Hit one of these tiles, watch a little more, hit join or subscribe. See the video description for links to other shizzle by moi. Heck yes.